Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberation Unleashed with Ilona. Um, Ilona, welcome. Welcome to Nothing Media. Thank you so much for doing this. If you have any questions, you can type in your questions on the message box. If you have questions, you can type it on Facebook, on YouTube. Ilona will see it. Um, I'm so happy that you're here, Ilona, and happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Okay. I never done this live stream before, so it's a little bit technical confusions, but we'll get better. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me here. This is a great opportunity and a great pleasure. And for me, being of service and helping people to realize the true nature is what I live for. This is my joy, my work, and that's what I'm here for. I would like to start from a very common and very known metaphor of the snake and the rope. And we all know that metaphor, I guess, from Advaita, it's classics. So basically, the story goes like this. There's a guy going home through the woods, and he sees a snake on the road. It is dark. He gets scared. He doesn't know that it's not a snake, so he creates all these ideas and stories about this. He gets scared, he runs home, and he tells everyone about this horrible big snake that he met and almost ate him. And next morning, he goes down the same road and he sees the same snake, but this time it's light. And when it's light, he can see that it's not a snake, it's a rope. And he's not scared, he knows what it is, and he just laughs about it. Well, there are various variations of this story. One is that the guy sees the snake and he dies out of fear. But in this, our story is quite happy. So what we have here is the four elements. There is darkness, there is a rope, there is a snake, and there is lightness. Oh, and there is another one, going back. So let's look at this closer. What is it all about? And well, the first thing, when it's dark and you see a rope, but you think it's a snake, it is the darkness that obscures the clarity. You cannot see what is there. It looks different. There is an illusion. So the darkness gives that cover over the clarity of what is present. But in the light, there is no more confusion. There is clear seeing. In this short story about the true nature, about what is our true nature, we can see that when it's darkness, it's confusing. And when there is light, it's clarity. And then there is going back. Going back is to have a look if that snake is still there. And this is so in parallel of what is happening in this awakening process for many people. First, we don't know what we are. Then we know what we are. Aha. And there is checking again and again and again. Just kind of letting it sink in, drop into that, dissolving into that. So many of us on Liberation Unleashed came to Liberation Unleashed to look for light, to look for that knowing what I am. And there is a process. It's not so easy and it's not so quick to realize what you really are because there is so much darkness. There is not knowing what you are. And all these illusions that pop out of this darkness, they distort the view and we get lost in them. So this show is about finding that rope underneath the snake and actually seeing both, that it is a possibility to see the true nature, what is here, and recognize what is not here, all these thoughts and stories and illusions. So my invitation here for you is to have a look in your own experience and check for yourself. Do you know what you really are? Or are you still looking for that? Are you still trying to reach or find what is your true nature? And if you are still trying, well, here is the chance to have a look right in this conversation. And if you have a question, you can send me a message and I can talk to you. Hello, Michael. Hello, Ray. Nice to see you. Okay. So at Liberation Unleashed, there are many guides that have seen the light. They know what they are, and they are helping others just to go through the same process. This process is unique, and the recognition and seeing happens spontaneously. But there are some questions that you can look and you can answer them for yourself and get closer to realization. Many people will say, no, you cannot do anything about realizing. It has to happen spontaneously. And yes, that's true. It only happens spontaneously. There is nothing yet you can do or I can do about that. But being ready, being receptive, and wanting to see is what is required. And often there are many, many expectations in a way of seeing what is here right now. Because the mind is wanting to find a better place, better now. This is not good enough. This should be something better. And just through that mental gymnastics or exercises, it cannot see what is here. And what is here right now? It is looking for something that is not here right now. And that the very tension of this looking is what is in the way of seeing. It's so simple to talk about this, but come on, how do you see that, right? Well, the first thing is to look at all the expectations, all the should and shouldn'ts, and what should be different, what you want to be different, what you hope for, what you hope to achieve by being awake, being enlightened. What will that give to you? And if you can catch those expectations and just write them down on a paper or on your computer, whatever, it's really good to see them outside of your mind, in front of you, and actually none of them is true. But we can't say, okay, I'm not going to expect the happy ever after and hope that it's going to be a case from now on. Well, all these wantings, all these desires, all these urges and longings, they are not just mental, they are also energetic. So we cannot say, okay, now get out of here. All these longings I don't want anymore. Let's just be happy here now. But they are unconscious, and so they come up. And unless they get resolved or released or looked at and pass you the message that needs to be heard, unless they are releasing and expressing, they are gonna be staying in the system for a long time until they are getting examined. So this path to freedom is through examining expectations. And this is so important because everyone has expectations. You can sit here right now and just think of, what does this awake person looks like, or how do they behave, or what do they know, or how others see them? And all that is expectations. All that is expectations. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is really examine, what do you think that this should be, or how this should go, or what should be after. Like all of it. None of it is true. The mind cannot imagine. The mind cannot imagine what it is, the natural state. It has to taste it. It has to experience it. But how can you show that to the mind? Well, the simple thing is noticing the space in between the thoughts. And I know many people don't even notice that there is space in between the thoughts. Because thought process is so fast, goes so fast that there is not a microsecond of the stillness to be noticed. So in that case, there is a lot of unwinding to do here so that the mind can slowly go to rest and can slowly start noticing what is here underneath thinking. Because normally we spend all this attention, all this time on the mental activity, all the memories and imaginations about tomorrow or next year. All that is very busy, and it seems that the mind finds its juice in there, in all these stories, in all these memories. There is so much there to go and listen to these stories. And the mind doesn't know that there is another option, that there is an option to be clear, to be playful, spontaneous, free. So it keeps working to get there. It keeps all this work in the name of peace. But it's like fighting what is. And you can't really win fighting what is, because what is, it's already here. You fight it or not. And this is the biggest challenge for a seeker, how to end the fighting what is. See, it's one thing to see your true nature, to recognize it, but the fight continues. It's unconscious, and there's nothing that can be done about that mentally, because if you try to calm the fight mentally, it's just more thoughts about it, more fighting. Then it's fighting the fighting. It's very, very difficult and tiring and exhausting, and you know the nights that you cannot sleep and this mind is thinking, creating all these problems and trying to solve them. So what can this mind do to relax? Well, what I find that works, the first thing that works is respect. And that means respecting these mechanisms, respecting how this mind works, the mind itself. It's not here to hurt you. It's not here to make a mess. It wants to help. Like, we have this best friend Kia that is telling about all this life and how it is. So we want it to be happy. But we can't be happy if we keep beating it or saying that it's not good enough or that it's not working enough. Or sometimes it feels like it needs to work so much to go to the point of exhaustion so it collapses and it can relax for a little bit. Yeah, you can't make the mind still by stirring it. It has to come to the stillness by itself. And this is the challenge, how to allow everything that is to be here without fighting it. Because peace is here when there is no more fight. You can't fight to get into peace. It's more like, okay then, right, do whatever happens, I'm here. Let's see what life brings up. And little by little the mind can relax. And this is a wonderful journey. This is a journey out of unconscious into the conscious. There's all these stories and these patterns and these emotions. They are here to be felt, to be expressed, to be noticed, to be acknowledged. Excuse me, I'm reading a question. Let me see. Excuse me. Why? Okay. Do you see a relationship between longing and love? Yes, there is a relationship between longing and love, but it's not really a relationship. It's the same. It's the love unexpressed is longing. When the love wants to be expressed, it comes up as longing. And many people feel that longing deep inside. Longing to be myself, longing to feel love, longing to be at ease. And that is just a calling to meet it. And by meeting it, you can arrive at that in a space, in a spaciousness where this longing gets gets cancelled just by looking at it. Because longing is a calling. It's something from deep inside is calling, saying, "Here, I am here. Look at me, look at me." But we don't recognize that as calling to go in. It's more like, "Oh, there is something here that needs to be get rid of. I don't like this longing." But the other side of longing is love. It's just saying, "Come home." And asking, "Are you ready to come home?" And if you say yes to that longing, and if you really sit in that longing, just allowing it to be here. And you can feel your heart right now is there longing. And you can check, what is that longing for? And is it okay to feel that longing? Because that longing is calling home. It says, "Are you ready? Are you ready to go home? Are you ready to open up and feel more and see what is here?" Offered in the heart. And just by being with that longing, acknowledging it, allowing it, something happens. It closes. That which is calling from inside and that which wants to go there, they connect. They connect and they're one. All that longing for love is really longing for self-love. Self-love. Loving your heart, loving yourself. And it's easier said than done, loving yourself. Many people are struggling with that. And it's interesting because now, as adults, we can give the love to our deepest, smallest child inside. Because it's interesting because we all have this inner child, this little tiny baby that came into this world and perhaps didn't get enough love from mom and dad and is feeling unsafe. So that longing may be coming from that little child that didn't get enough love when he was born or even before that. And sometimes that longing brings you to this little inner child that you can give love to. You know, you don't need your mom and dad to give love to your little baby. You can be that parent. You can give that love to that inner child. So this often comes up when we are looking at the deep longing, just to find that self-love. And it's surprising how many people have their inner child blocked or neglected, even angry at him or her. And to check that for yourself, you can just really ask your little inner baby to come up, just right here, right now, and see how it looks, how she looks or how he looks. Is he or she happy? Is he safe, laughing or crying? Is he scared, afraid, unloved? This image of inner child is just a representation of how you feel. How you feel. Do you have a feeling of safety, or is it missing? Do you know that you are loved and lovable, or is that missing? So through connecting to that inner child, you can heal. You can heal that longing for love. Sure thing, it's not like that either. You may take some time to meditate or work with somebody. Just uncover, see for yourself what is there. And little by little, that mind can relax when these longings are answered. And then you can start looking at that gap in between the thoughts and start noticing the stillness and the presence that is here, always underneath all thinking. Let me read another question. Can we somehow reintroduce the expecting parts, feelings, thoughts to the whole experience, or is it that just more fighting? Just notice what happens? This is a question from Mirk. Thank you. Well, yes, the wholeness includes all feelings and all thoughts and all stories. Nothing is apart from wholeness. But the illusions don't need to be fought. We don't need to fight the illusions. And it's not fighting to introduce the wholeness back into this. It's more allowing or surrendering or being present to whatever is arising here and wants to be felt. So just noticing and seeing what is here, giving that attention. It's like supplying electricity to something that is there that hasn't been lit up. And when you give attention to whatever emotion or feeling is here, it has an opportunity and electricity to self-transform. So this witnessing, the witnessing is so powerful. And through this witnessing, the unconscious becomes conscious. And when unconscious becomes conscious, it transforms. It's no longer unconscious. It can no longer fool you. You can no longer be trapped in that. Just coming back to the snake on the rope. When you see the actuality, when you see the reality, you can still get lost in thinking, and you can still get lost in emotions and identify and think that, oh my God, the self came back, or this me is not doing what it needs to be doing. But when there is light, when you know what you are, all these emotions are free to come and go. They cannot hurt you. It's safe to feel them. So reintroducing or coming back to wholeness is freedom to feel. Freedom to feel all emotions as they are, as they come up, when they come up, and express them safely, consciously. And fighting what happens, yes, there is this mechanism of resistance. You know what the resistance is? No, no, let me hold on to this. I don't want this to go. Or no, don't bring this up. This resistance is a protection mechanism. And it's always protecting from feeling something that does not want to be felt or seems too scary or too intense to be felt. So the first thing to acknowledge is that resistance is here to help. It is protecting. And that too can be respected. And with that, the resistance can soften up. Because it's here with a message. It says, oh, don't go looking there. It's dangerous. It may be painful. You don't want to go there. And if I say, okay, resistance, okay, I see this. I don't want to go there. I agree. It softens up. And then we can look at what is there underneath the resistance. So in this show of fighting what is, the first thing to allow is to allow resistance. Isn't that interesting? Because the resistance is holding everything else hidden. Unless we acknowledge resistance and make friends with it, it's not allowing to see what is underneath, what it is. What is that needs that protection? There's always something deeper. There's always something hiding that underneath all these resistances. So, okay, we can be friends with resistance and see that it is doing work for us. It is helping to identify the places where something is still hiding. It's like a torch of light in the darkness, saying, okay, here you go. This hasn't been looked at yet. What are you going to do about this? And we can say, yay, thank you, resistance. Great. Thank you. This is the end of fighting. Just really being okay with everything that arises, even resistance. And feelings don't come to be understood, they come to be felt. They come to express. They come to be felt fully, openly, so they can release. And the mind doesn't need to fight with itself. Well, it can. It's used to. But what does it get from that fight? It's just tension and stress. So again, you can say, all right, life, I'm here. Give me the challenges, give me happy days, give me bad days. I'm here. I'm just going to meet whatever is arising as it is arising. And that's the end of fight. And that's the integrating or reintroducing all the feelings into the system, all the thoughts. Everything is allowed. Everything is the same life, even though it appears that it's not. It appears because it's dark. It's dark as in not knowing what you are. But when you know what you are, everything is welcome. Everything is passing by freely. You are here. Okay, that's it on this question. And let's see what else we have. How do you drop the desire to still the mind, or rather, how does it drop? Aha, very good. Thank you, Sanjay. The mind wants to be still by itself, but it cannot be still because it's engaged in so many different tasks, in so many different positions of managing. It cannot be still, but it wants to be still. When I work with people in this deep looking method, one of the questions is the mind at peace right now? And many times the answer comes, no, it's not at peace right now. And then the question goes, what does this mind want the most? And almost 90% it wants peace. The mind wants peace. It only is a little bit scared of it. Excuse me. It's scared of peace. Because in some way, what is it going to be doing? Is it going to be useless? Is it going to disappear? What is that? That peace seems threatening. But if you really check in your mind, it wants that. So then the next question would be, what is in the way of peace? So it's not forcing mind to stop thinking. It's not about stopping thinking. It's not about stilling the mind. It's about meeting the mind and seeing what is there in the way of peace and what would satisfy that need, whatever is there, and just giving it to it. And literally, it's our attention. It's our attention that does the magic. You know, when you have a glass of water with some mud in it, I don't know for what reason, but you know, muddy water, and you stir it and stir it and stir it, and it's all like equally muddy. But what do you do to still it? You don't stir it, you just let it be. And after a while, all the mud, all the dust goes at the bottom, and you don't need to do anything. It's the same with the mind. So the mind talks, okay, yeah, a lot, okay, about stuff that is not happening, okay. What to do? Well, there is always presence that is here underneath the thinking, underneath all thoughts. It's just this sense of being. And we all know this sense of being. It's not hidden, it's not anything magical. It's simply here. It's simple knowing that I am here right now. I am here right now. I am aware right now. And when you bring attention to the heart, out of the head into the heart, and just hold attention there with this knowing that I am aware, the mind tends to still by itself. So basically, the attention is the electricity. It's the charge. It's the current that lights everything up. Like if you put the attention here, it lights up. Everything is going on here. All these energies, all these thoughts and stories are like twisting, and it's like a feedback loop, and it's difficult to come out. But if you bring the attention down into the body, into the heart, you can start noticing something else is going on here, not just thinking. You can start noticing the feeling in the chest area. And when you bring attention there, something inside starts to open. And the stillness and peace is in that. But for many people, what I say may sound a bit strange or unrealistic, because for many people this area is not active, it's not alive, it's closed. I know how that feels, because for many years I felt that too. It was like all the energy here thinking, but there was no feeling of openness. There was simply contraction, too much pain. So bringing attention to the heart, you may see that it's not very peaceful here. And there are emotions that want to be felt and released. And again, that's an invitation to clear the path, to clear the space, to cancel all these callings and longings by meeting them. So little by little, this mind can go down into the heart and find its peace and comfort there. And there is one question, there is one very powerful question that you can just check for yourself. Does this mind know that heart is its home? And it may say, yes, I'm at home. Or it says, I don't know, maybe. So you can check, is it true? Is it true that the heart is the home? And see how this mind feels about that. And then the next question would be, does this mind want to go home? If it's not a home already, does it want to go home? Does it want to feel comfortable, at peace, at ease? safe, loved, respected? And usually the answer is yes, yes, yes. And then you can check, is that mind ready to go home? Ready to drop into the heart? And if it says no, it's okay. It's completely okay. Maybe there is still some work to do. And if it says yes, well, is it ready now? Like right now? Has it got enough of fighting? Has it got enough of struggles and trying to manage what is happening? Well, it is free to go home. It is free to be at ease. It's always free. There's always an option. And see what happens if you allow the mind to go home. Just for a minute or two, feel into this. Feel into the heart and into the mind, wherever that is for you. And how does the mind feel now? Is it more peaceful, more at rest? And how is the heart feeling having mind at home? And it is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Just giving attention to what is here. The heart is here. The mind is here. The body is here. They want to be at peace. They are already free. They're already free to experience what is tension, and they're already free to experience what is peace. Sometimes it seems that they are just waiting for your permission or for your allowing. Because the whole system wants to go to peace. The whole system wants to be relaxed. Body doesn't like tension. Gets ill if it's too much stress. So the idea here is to check what is in the way of peace and see if that can be met so that the whole thing goes more quiet, more still, and more open, more radiating joy, which comes from within. When this noise is cancelled, there is a joy, there is a clear signal of joy and peace, simplicity, enjoying life. So that's kind of the shift. What happens when you stop fighting what is? There's just more space for being, more space for living freely. So that would be the answer of how to stop, drop desire to still the mind. The mind still itself when it's given permission. Okay, and the next question also related, I think, that the fear of hurting people or dharma. Yeah. Okay, with hurting people, I have to say like this. we can't hurt people. We can't hurt people. They're already hurting from within, and it's just a slight touch can activate that pain, which is already there. A simple example would be, let's say you are going on the road with a bike. Suddenly you fall over and you hurt your leg, and it's painful. And somebody is passing by and just by accident brushes against that leg, and here you go, you are like, ah, don't do this to me. This hurts. You hurt me. That's your fault. You should have gone on another side of the road, and here I am, and you are, hurting me. But that hurt was already there. And these people that touched it by accident didn't mean to hurt you. You've been hurt already. So they are doing actually a favor, showing that there is a hurt there. So the fear of hurting people is a fear not to touch these wounds. Because when the wounds are touched, people react, and they bite, and they kick, and they scream. And we don't know what to do about that, what to do with that. And if people are conscious enough, they can recognize that inner pain and meet it and see it and allow it to heal. But if people are not conscious, they are just going to react as they always react. And there is nothing to do about that. It's impossible to live life not hurting people. We all hurt somebody at some point. But as I say, it's not us that hurt them. It's us that show them that they are hurting already. And so when people are hurting us, we can apply that too. And see that it's not their fault. It's not them to blame. It's something here that is waiting for that opportunity to come out, to be seen, to express, and to heal. And as we are all affecting each other in many ways beyond imagination, so let's allow ourselves as well to touch those wounds. Perhaps that's what's needed so people can heal. But, well, that needs being conscious and being aware and being on the path of discovering what is here. It's not for everyone. So, okay, we can stay away a little bit from people that are touchy, but you can't expect not to hurt anyone ever. Okay. Aha. Okay, a question from Johannes. Any advice how to deal with despair? Okay. Well, despair is a very intense feeling. I've been there, know how that feels. How to deal with it? Well, one thing I would say is just to know that it's going to pass. It's not permanent. It will pass. It may take time, but it's not here to be for good. It's impossible. And then I would look at what is here that is so painful, that is bringing this feeling of despair. And identify the thought that is the most painful thought. And just see, is that thought true? Is that really true? And I would say in the middle of despair, it's quite difficult to see through it because it's so intense. So just allow whatever emotions or whatever body movements or expressions want to happen, whatever it is. Cry, stay still, meditate, lay on the floor, whatever, scream, whatever. Just allow that emotional energy to pass through. Otherwise, it stays there. So, like with anything else, it's just seeing it, saying, okay, it is safe for you to be here. I see you. I see you, and you are here, and it is safe to feel. That should take the edge of it. And if it doesn't take the edge of it, well, it depends if you can see your true nature already or not. It's very difficult to talk about this without seeing the situation or being in the situation, sharing with the person. So in general advice how to deal with despair would be to allow it to pass through by being patient, by being soft with yourself, and by knowing that this will pass. Everything passes, good, bad, and ugly, everything passes. It's just a very temporary experience, intense emotion. And by meeting it, by allowing it to be here, to be seen, to be expressed, it can pass. So the way through is in noticing and what is here, and feeling it. And I think that if you are feeling despair, it's good to have somebody to talk to. And perhaps it's a bigger issue. Perhaps it's a dark night of the soul. Despair is not such a common or everyday feeling. There's something heavy about it. So perhaps allowing it to be here, to express, to notice, will take the edge of it. And if not, talk to a friend, talk to somebody who can listen, who can just be there for you and just listen and perhaps share a similar experience. It doesn't matter if it's in a live person or on the internet. It's good to connect with somebody that has been through the same, to reassure you that this will pass. And the solutions come not from the mind that doesn't know how to deal with the problem, how to deal with the despair. It's actually letting go of all these, trying to figure it out, and allowing whatever is here to solve itself out. Okay, let's see another question. How do you describe to be in nothingness? For me, it's like a desireless place where nothing holds you or binds you. You are free, yet I feel motivation. I feel no motivation. How to live in this nothingness? Thank you, Supriya. Okay, what I can see is that in this process of awakening or becoming conscious of the unconscious, shifting from illusion into reality, often we come to the place of nothingness, just emptiness, and it seems strange, unusual, weird. What's going on? But what if you meet it? What if you say, okay, there is nothing here, that's fine, it's okay. Nothing should be different. So already everything is as it should be, everything is unfolding as it should be. And this state of feeling nothingness is also something that goes and passes, comes and goes. It's not permanent. Another thing in this question is about motivation. And I notice with many people that the motivation drops. Like all these tendencies, egoic or selfish tendencies, they tend to drop. And then there is no more motivation. Before, I wanted to achieve something, to get somewhere, to compete, to become better. Now I don't want that. So it's empty, it's nothing. Like there is nothing to strive for, nothing to seek. There is no need to become. It's just being. And for some time, this state is quite scary for this selfish pattern that we call ego. It's like, so what? What am I gonna do? I'm useless. Doing nothing is not good enough. I need to have motivation. But what if we let that motivation drop and see what else can be here, what else is available? And then we can notice the voice of inspiration. And inspiration is not to achieve something or beat somebody else in a competition or become better than somebody else. It's simply joy of doing what you want to do, sharing what you want to share, working what you want to work. And that comes freely. It doesn't need a motivation. It comes from within. It's such a force. It's such a joy to share, things that come from inspiration. And it doesn't require beating yourself up if you do not achieve something, or you are too slow, or too not in time, or all this stuff. So it's actually interesting time when the motivation starts dropping, but then the room opens for something way much sweeter, this inspiration from the heart. So when you are finding yourself in this nothingness and there is this wanting to grasp on something, to hold on, let it go. That too can go. Everything can go. There is nothing there. There is nothing to hold on. Can't hold on to nothing. So just let it go. So be it. Here is some beautiful 3 words. So be it. And how to live in that nothingness. Well, moment by moment. What is here right now? What wants to happen? What is the step that I'm taking? What wants to happen? And let that inner guidance to guide whatever wants to happen. It's really not a loss to lose motivation when you can find inspiration. That is a natural, authentic drive that is not polluted by other people's ideas about what you should be doing or what they want you to be doing, how they want you to succeed. I hope that answers your question. A question from Ray. I know we are not our thoughts and our emotions, but these are just concepts playing in my head. How can I fully integrate this concept so it is fully embodied without any doubts? Well, first of all, you would need to see for yourself that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. Are you doing the thinking? Are you a thought? Or is it all happening by itself? Well, when you see clearly that you are not a thought, you cannot get confused with being a thought again. Yeah, temporarily we can get involved in the illusion again. In that moment, it all feels so real and so intense. But you can never really believe that you are thought. And what is this thought? Your name, the word I, me, self, ego. You're none of these thoughts. With the emotions, it's a little bit different because emotions are felt and they don't have verbal expression unless the mind comes in and labels them. But how to see that you are not your emotions? Right? You just check which emotion is here now. Is there an emotion? Is there a feeling? And it may feel like an energy, like a tightness. And can you have a look? Is there a gap between you and feeling? What kind of gap is there? You can notice that you are here noticing that emotion. That there is noticing the emotion. And emotions are something that comes and goes. Unless they are repressed and they hear like a background noise all constantly. That can be too. So you're not emotions. You're not a feeling that is coming and going. You are seeing them. So just by creating this little gap, I see you. It's safe for you to be here. It's safe for me to feel it. You can notice immediately that these emotions is something that comes and goes. It's not constantly here. It's not permanent. And what is permanent is this beingness, a witnessing, a presence, a knowing. There are so many words pointing to the same. So you are here, the emotions coming and going, thoughts are coming and going, there is noticing. And can you see that emotions and thoughts are coming and going by themselves, that you are not doing it? You're not making it happen. Because if you would be making them happen, wouldn't you be happy bunny all the time? Or thinking just, flowers, butterflies, or some rainbows all the time. But thoughts, they come and go by themselves. It's not something that I am making or I am creating. It's something that I'm witnessing, like a stream of experience. Then check, is there any doubt that you are making these emotions and thoughts appear? And if you say yes, how do you do that? Just really check for yourself, how do you do that? How do you make thoughts appear? Or how do you make emotions appear? And just see over and over again that it's not you. You're not a body, you're not thoughts, you're not emotions, you're not sensations, you're not colors, you're not smells, you're not sounds. Is there any doubt? How it is to be fully embodied with that knowing. It's like every day is a new miracle, every day is a new opportunity. Every day is, here you go. Do you see this now and now and now and now? So the integrating of this knowing is not a one-day job. It's living every day. It's simply noticing what is here that is present and what is here that is passing by. And you can never get confused with being that which is passing by because you are here, obviously. Like if you close your eyes, what is here? Can you know your age? Can you know your size, like a body size or color? No, there is just open space. Sea of sensations, knowing of sensations. And that knowing is fundamental. It's always here, it's always present. So identifying happens with the thoughts, with emotions, with the body, with the character. But that's also an automatic process, unconscious process, which when believed becomes a problem. But then again, let's go back to the snake on the rope. When there is a darkness, the rope appears as a snake. But when there is light, you know your true nature, and you can still see, how that supposedly appears as a snake, and you still know that it's a rope. You cannot get confused. So to answer your question in a simplest way is bring your attention back and back and back to what you are, what you really are. Noticing this sense of being, sense of presence, stillness, and resting in that as often as you can, as fully as you can. And just that resting alone helps to erase all these unconscious patterns of identifying, unconscious conditioning. And just be patient with yourself and soft and kind to yourself, and give yourself space and time to just really bring your attention to what you are. It's a little bit like if you are watching a good movie on a screen, on a TV screen, and you get sucked into the movie, into the drama, and you're feeling the emotions, and it feels like, ooh, this is good, it gives a juice to feel something, to experience. But then at any point you know that it's a movie, right? It's not real. Still you're feeling these emotions. But at any time you are stepping back and this is going on the screen. There is nobody there. It's same with this, like with this identification with the stories and emotions. It's same like this. At any point you can pull out and say, aha, I see this, right? And it can no longer hold you hostage completely. Well, you can go in there, have fun, have experience, and come back. And doing that over and over again, it becomes more fully and fully embodied in everyday experience. Okay. Aha. Why answer questions when the answers will give rise to more questions, and then it's a never-ending phenomenon? Great. Yes, I agree. Okay, we can just sit in silence, and there are no questions really. No questions need to be answered. Well, the way I see it, the question is answered when it's no longer making sense. When the question no longer makes sense, that means it's answered. It's no longer a question. And if a question gets an answer, there is still an answered question. The answer is just like a band-aid. Like, okay, for today, this will do. Tomorrow may be different answer, but for today, this answer, I believe this is the right answer. But from what I see, is the right answer is when there is no more question. Especially question why is doing this, what you are saying, raising more questions, and it's never ending. The question why. It's like kids are asking these questions of parents. Why this? Why that? And parents have a trouble to explain and give all these ideas about why this and that. But when we are adults, okay, and if we are not a scientist that need to go and find out why this and that, in ordinary life, the question why only gives stories and explanations that give rise for more questions. So it's best to drop such a question, why? And that will clear a lot of questions from the mind. Just knowing that no answer would be the truth. Just something that suits for today, for this moment. Okay. There is a place where all questions dissolves, and it's so strange place to live from. For we are always used to seeking. Yes, 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 there is this place where all questions dissolve. That's the stillness, or silence, or openness, spaciousness. I don't know. There are so many words that point to the same. It's just none of them are doing it. No words can do it. So you have to find your own word. Okay. So stillness, silence, spaciousness, openness, formless, natural state, beingness, isness. Yeah, there are no questions here. There is no need to know anything or explain anything in order to be. We already are. We are always used to seeking. That's it. That's it. Yeah. It's like an addiction. It can be an addiction to seek. It can be inertia to seek. But the seeking is like, looking at that rope on the road and seeing a snake and trying to find out what is the snake doing here, why is it here, where did it come from? When looking for is only gonna give more confusion. But when you're looking at the rope, you don't need to seek it. You don't need to seek anything. You're just seeing it. So yeah, so it's about recognizing this stillness within, the peace within that is always here, that needs no questions, no answers, no explanations, no talking. It's already full, complete, completely at ease, always free. And that is not found by seeking, but quite the opposite. It's found by noticing what is here. The seeking is somewhere there. They know, they have, I need, give it to me. And looking at or finding is simply noticing what is here and describing that. And it's not hidden, it's never hidden. And for the mind, it may be quite shocking to end seeking because maybe it's been doing that for 10 or 20 years. So what is here without the seeking? It's almost like if I stop seeking, who am I? What am I going to do? How am I going to live my life if I stop seeking? So keep seeking because that's the only thing it knows how to survive. But nothing is lost if you stop seeking and start finding and looking at what is here. And then the seeking energy changes into your discovery or exploration. It's more fun, it's joyous, it's curious, it's not desperate. It's not desperate to get something from somebody else. It knows where to look for it, right here, right now. It's a good place to live from because there is so much space available for joy, for ease, for lightness. And that radiates. People around you feel better because you're not looking for something that is not here. You're simply relaxed into yourself. And that also gives permission for others around you to relax into themselves. So yes, the ending seeking. Hi Ben, it's always great to see you too. Thank you. Lovely. That's great. Inspiration takes motivation's place. It's like the next generation of motivation. Yeah, yeah. It's like Drive 2.0, a human drive 2.0. Wow, it's as if this live stream is just for the emotional storm. I feel caught up in it. So much fear, hopelessness surging forth. Okay, Catherine. Whew. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So all these emotions they want to express and they want to find a way to express. It's a very interesting phenomena. I noticed that when this openness happens, when there is space, when there is peace, even just for a little bit, a day, a week, maybe a month. But after that, what happens is this openness is so nice, so delicious. But then something happens and it goes like, oh, what to do now? What happened? So the way I see it, when there is this openness, there is a room for all these deep feelings that haven't been allowed to express to come up. So it's actually a good sign. It's like a detox. You give space and things start arising. So all these emotions, they come to be felt and you can welcome them. And whatever is here is okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay. There is no feeling that you cannot take or endure. You're already here feeling it. Even intensity is okay. There's nothing wrong with intensity. And just breathing into that energy, breathing into that emotion. It's okay. We can honor the space and we can honor whatever wants to come and express. There is a tendency now these days that you should feel only positive emotions and negative emotions are wrong or not good, and you should stay away or avoid, get distracted. Because there is an idea that if I am going to be focusing on the negative emotions, I am going to get more of it. But that's not how it works. Not at all. If you focus on the negative emotion, so-called negative emotion, what can happen is it gets expressed, it gets felt, it gets acknowledged, and it goes. It doesn't bring more negative emotions. If you give attention to it, it releases. And with that, there is more room for lightness. So when people are looking for freedom from emotions or from negative emotions, it is confusing because the freedom is to feel all emotions without making them bad. The freedom is from the judgment that it's good or bad, or wanted and wanted, pleasant and unpleasant. Not all emotions are pleasant, nor they should be. Life is full of challenges and full of rich, interesting, various experiences. And not all of them are meant to be pleasant. So we can say yes to all kinds of emotions. And whatever is here is okay. Yes, it is like a detox. Like you are pouring light into your system. There is light in the system. And that light will move, allow all these shadows, all these parts of you that have been neglected or denied to come into the light. Because all of them, they just want to go back to peace. All of it wants to go back to peace. For me personally, a change happened when I learned to say yes to whatever arises. And it felt a bit like practice in the beginning. It felt like forced. But everything arises, I learned to say, yes, okay, this is here. Thank you. And after a while, it became natural. And I could see how the limits of what I could handle, what emotions would be here that were too painful. But that allowing for them to be here, with saying yes to them, they started to have more space around them. And that's how I felt the biggest change in ending the fight with what is. That's also ending the fight with what is. Okay. Tim, in the absence of motivation, how do you know if work that other people want me to do is right for me? Aha. How do you know that other people want me to do is right for me? Wow. It's only what you think is right for you. What other people think is their own business. They may think many things what's right for you, but what do you feel that is right for you? That's the question. And some people will like it, some people won't like it. And it's okay. And well, doing work, going to work every day and being engaged in something for many years, there are patterns. How we do that, why we do that, what happens. And sometimes motivation is part of that, and it's okay too. It's not against motivation. It's not against, the drive that has always been here. But what is right for you, only you know. And that comes from here. There's another little rule that I used to play with. It was like, if it's not yes, then it's a no. Meaning that if I feel a yes, I feel a strong yes. And if I don't feel a strong yes, then it's a no. Like always, maybe, I don't know, it's a no. So that kind of helps to navigate in knowing what is right for me. Because deep inside, I feel what is right for me. And what other people feel about me or what I'm doing, it's nothing to do with me. Nothing at all. Thank you, Tim. Right. Aha. The secret is like a magic trick that once you know the reality of doesn't interest you anymore. Yes, I like that. The magic trick of a secret. Yeah, the magic trick. And in that magic trick, there is darkness. Darkness of not knowing what you are. But once you know what you are, you can't get confused for a long time. Yeah, it's not so easy to end seeking. It takes courage and honesty to end seeking. And giving up all the expectations, everything. It's basically giving up. trying to become better or improve something that is already perfect. But we can't see that it's already perfect because we're seeking. Okay, and the question from Helen. The fear of loss is dominant, and that fear projected thoughts of how to deal with it cause me great pain. Do I sit with it? The fear of loss. Okay. Right. Okay, Helen, if you look at that fear of loss, can you identify where is it in the body or in your space, the space around? Where is it? Where is that fear? It is here to protect. Can you see that it's a friend? It's only protecting something from being found out. And can you check with that fear? Can you check there? What are you afraid to lose? What can be lost? What is that? Because nothing real can be lost. Nothing that is real can be lost. What gets lost is beliefs, illusions, lies, and truth. It's interesting, I noticed that truth is not painful. The truth is kind, is loving, is soft. It's the truth. It's something that opens. It's something that shares. And what hurts is not the truth. What hurts is the lies. Lies, beliefs, and truth. Also, what hurts is losing those beliefs. So don't be afraid of losing something that is no longer working, that is no longer needed, that is here causing pain. And the best way to deal with fear that I learned from Pamela Wilson is that look behind it. What is there behind it? Behind the fear that needs it, that needs this protection. You can just take a peek behind it and see for yourself. It is safe, and wherever you find there, just look at it. Does it need to be protected? So we don't need to fight the fear or be scared of the fear or the pain. The pain is not lasting long. It's just the pain of losing something that is no longer working. It's a little bit like if you are wearing shoes that are hurting your feet and are scared to take them off. But if you take them off, you are no longer hurting. Well, it takes time for the feet to go back to normal, not painful. But it's not a loss. All this pain, all this fear is not something to lose. They can just drop by seeing what is behind the fear. I don't know if you were able to see it, but there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. There's nothing in life that needs to be protected from life itself. And I have a video on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. It's about meeting the fear. That is like a guided meditation. Maybe that will give you more more ideas how to sit with it in a safe and comfortable way. Right? Okay, let's go to the next question from David. Okay, Helen. Sorry, David, we'll go back to this. It's in my gut and I can't be seen. It can't be seen. Okay, Helen, I can't really guide you here unless you are willing to come up on a chat. Like, it doesn't have to be video, but I don't know how to do it really. This time we agreed to do just typing chat. Maybe you can message me later and we can talk one-on-one in private. That would be the way. Okay, David, seeing through the belief of the body as an experiencer has been an eye-opener. Thank you, tell you. Yes. Yes, it's so interesting how this language works and how we assume that the word is a thing. It's so interesting because the body, what is the body? The body is this, right? This. But where is the body? It's the sensations. All these sensations that have a name of the body. But there is no body here. There is no body experiencing sensations. It's the sensations that we call body. Yeah, it is an eye-opener, true. Okay, thank you, Helen. I'll speak to you after this in private. When you really see the seeking patterns and find out that you never do anything, things sort of relax and the seeker is surrendered. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, even the seeking patterns are happening by themselves on their own. And there never was a seeker to surrender either. Right? We have this language with nouns, so we become all kinds of things just because the language says so. I am a seeker, I am a finder, but there is nobody there to do any of that. And for the seeker, if I could say that the best thing is just to stop watching all the videos, reading all the books, listening to what has somebody else got to say about this, and just start looking in your own experience and just describing for yourself what is here, what do you see, what is true to you. It's so easy to get lost in comparing people's notes about this. Okay, and I express it one way, somebody else expresses differently, and I may not agree with that. And then I start thinking, "Ooh, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not seeing something." And it's a lot of seeking energy here that is trying to figure it out who said what and how it is. But unless it's connected to experience, those other people's experiences and descriptions are completely irrelevant. Unless it's connected to my experience, what is true for me. Other people's descriptions are just words, are the words that I'm playing with in my mind, trying to organize and arrange my beliefs according to what they say, but it's just mental gymnastics. It's not seeing anything, it's trying to understand. And we don't really need to understand anything. That's the only thing to understand, that there is nothing to understand. Nothing to understand. Well, understanding is like a after effect. Like when you see it clearly, the concepts in the head rearrange. Then you understand, can express it. But that understanding is not how things are. This is a limited mind trying to put the whole into concepts. And then these concepts become things. And then we get lost in them. So it's okay not to know anything. It's okay not to have answers. It's okay not to have questions. It's okay not to know. It may be scary not to know. But what is scared of that? What can be lost if you don't know? Actually, not knowing is honest. It's like, I don't know how this works. I can only share what I see, what I experience, what I notice, but I don't know how this works. Nobody knows how this works. So yeah, may as well just sit in silence and share that beingness, that presence with you, rather than talking about it. It's when all these thought waves get quiet. There's so much more intimate experience, more immediate, sweeter, rich and full and alive. This energy is here around the head. It's like a storm. And when you want to calm and peace, you go in the heart. There's sunshine there. Hi, Olga. So nice to see you here. Thank you. So if looking at the sky metaphor, there is sky is a space. Sky is a beingness. Sky is an openness, formless. Just space. And then all these thoughts, emotions, sensations, colors, sounds, everything is passing by like clouds, or planes, or air balloons, or birds. It can be busy in the sky. So as a seeker, what we see is just clouds. Clouds and all these phenomena that are in the way of sunshine, the covering sunshine. And what we do as a seeker is trying to fight with these clouds, like make them disappear, try to control them. Yeah, trying to control them, wanting to control them, getting angry that they are not being controlled, getting desperate that, these clouds are here, I can get rid of them. But the attention needs to be on the sky. Then all these clouds are free to pass. Nothing sticks to the sky. And when the attention goes into the heart and stays in the heart, as long as it can be kept there, that's when you start noticing that sunshine that is always here. Like vertically, head is here, the heart is there, so the sunshine is underneath the clouds. It's not like in the sky, but you know what I mean. There is a sunshine in the heart, and mind is busy covering it up. And the natural way to deal with the clouds as a human is to fight them. But what if we don't need to fight them at all? They can come and go, as they already do. And then the anger can come and go, the desperation can come and go, everything can come and go. Happiness can come and go. There is a deeper peace, there is deeper knowing in the heart. So after this, you can check for yourself. Is your heart and mind connected? Are they communicating? Are they in harmony? Or is there something cut off? Because if there is something cut off, there won't be peace. These two need to come together. It's like feminine and masculine. Yin and yang. They work together, they're in harmony, then everything is great. And I remember the times when I did not know this was possible, to live life without stress, without aggravation. It always seemed to be up and down, up and down. Good things happen, worse things happen just right after it in three. So it was kind of turbulent, until I found that there is a way. It's a real way to live life and be at peace, whatever happens. Doesn't mean that I don't get aggravated or I don't get annoyed, or I can still spend a sleepless night thinking about something. Rarely, but it happens. And well, nothing is taken so seriously anymore, and also it doesn't last for long. So that's the freedom. Okay, so coming back to the snake on the rope from the beginning. The snake is the mind and all the castles of beliefs in there. And the rope, the actuality is the heart. It's just knowing what I am. And we can see both. And the life is a play of this light and dark and looking and finding and getting lost again and growing. And growing is not comfortable. It may be painful. Because when we are growing, we expand and the old beliefs, old ways of being are no longer comfortable. They are tight. So to grow, we have to shed the skin. We have to be available for the new, whatever new comes in. And there is fear of growth, fear of making mistakes, or not knowing how it will be. But you know what's scary, and to stay here stuck or have a little pain and move on. Well, I find it's having a little pain and move on is so much. It makes sense so much more than staying in the pain and waiting for a happy ever after. Would anyone else have another question? Still have 50. If you like to ask anything or talk about anything. Okay, and for everyone who is listening and need a little bit of help to realize this naturalness, come over to the Liberation Unleashed website and ask for a free account. It's completely free of charge. You can have a conversation with the guide, and the guide only points and asks you questions. You have to figure it out all by yourself. So if you need a little bit of help, liberationunleashed.com. Oh, dealing with family dynamics. Oh, this is a very loaded question. Family dynamics. Well, family are these people that will show us our wounds the most, will rub against all that is painful for us the most. It's like our sandbox where we can experience and we can learn about ourselves, about what is within. And most intense relationships are actually with family. And all these dynamics can be very unhelpful and unhealthy. Like knowing from my own experience, I grew up in a family where my parents used to fight a lot. And my mom was always blaming dad for everything that happened. And she used to feel so much pain. And when I was with her as a teenager growing up, I would sit with her and cry and feel sorry for her. And that was so terrible and so painful that as soon as I could, I left home and I left to another country so I wouldn't need to be dealing with all these family issues, because it was so painful for me to see somebody close to me suffering and not knowing how to help them, being like completely hopelessly unaware how I could help them. And it was painful because I was taking her emotions and carrying them within me, and in a way supporting the victim that my mom was feeling as. So these family issues, they give us an opportunity to look within and see what's hurting and end all these games, because psychologically, as human beings, in groups we all play games unknowingly. It's just how these minds work. And in family, you can notice these dynamics as a victim, perpetrator, and savior, and they all interchanging depending on situation and who's who in which situation. And there is a lot to learn there, but it takes a lot of courage and honestly with yourself to be able to step out of these dynamics and be truth to yourself, like what you feel about that, what you want there. And one thing that unites the family is love. It's unconditional love. We all connected through the heart. Mom and dad and siblings and uncles and oh, all this family tree, God knows how long, how far in the past it would go. We are all connected. So by looking after ourselves, we can help the family members to do that as well. Just by being kind to ourselves, being loving to ourselves, we can give that support and opening for others to do the same. It doesn't mean that it will work 100%, but at least you are honest with yourself and authentic with yourself. Yeah. And family are the ones that presses the buttons and show us our shortcomings and blind spots and everything, and it can be ugly. Thank you to all the family and all the friends that are doing that for us, because otherwise, how would we know what hurts? Like if people are only nice and sweet around us and polite, yeah, we can play this game of pretending, but nothing gets reached deep inside. So thanks to that family that are able to bring up all these feelings to the surface. And this work is secret. It's secret. It's private. Nobody needs to know about that. Don't need to go around and tell people that they need to work on themselves or that they have to, work with their emotions or control their anger or whatever. It's really about me. It's how I feel in that situation. What triggers me, not them. It's not their fault they're hurting. Everyone is doing the best they can. And it's really nobody there. It's this life dancing as all of us. And you can feel that connection to life through this stillness or through the space in the heart. We're all connected there, interbeing. Thank you, Nothing Media, for organizing this. I agree. Thank you, guys. You're awesome. Harry, Emerson, Julie, and Noel. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ilona.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next month, Ilona, for Liberation Unleashed. And And for people that wants to visit the website, they can go to liberationunleashed.com, just like what Ilona mentioned. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see you on next in February. Oh, March. We'll see you in March, Ilona. Thank you.
It was. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Alvaro. Great.